It up a little bit, Jay. Thank you. Well, let's talk rain now. Heavy downpours don't just swamp our streets. They wash toxic pollution straight into our runoff.
Meteorologist Annie Giovannucci is showing us how a simple rain garden can soak up the mess and protect your property.
Maybe you've seen them around, but these are rain gardens. They are a natural way to support storm drainage and water quality while promoting a healthy ecosystem. And a local group here in Toledo helps educate to create more.
Rain gardens are a shallow basin that are meant to receive water. They include plants that can be completely flooded with water occasionally, while also liking completely dry conditions in between. They are meant to accept more water than a traditional garden.
The Rain Garden Initiative started in 2007, and initially it was really in response to some pretty severe flooding that we had in the city of Toledo, and so we were looking for different ways to address that.
Rain gardens are a way to keep storm drains from being completely overwhelmed by redirecting that rainwater. This in turn helps our water quality, as all storm drain water ultimately leads back to Lake Erie, carrying with it excessive nutrients.
We can instead have that go into an area with plants that will need to use some of those nutrients.
These rain gardens include native plants, so insects, birds, and wildlife love them too. The Rain Garden Initiative was involved with the creation of 70 rain gardens since its start nearly 20 years ago. And they offer a master rain gardener program where homeowners, churches, or groups can learn how to create a rain garden of their own.
If you would like to get involved and start a rain garden of your own or start one with a group, you can find more information on our website, 13abc.com. Reporting for 13 Action News, I'm meteorologist Annie Giovannucci.